If your emails aren't selling, these mistakes could be costing your business thousands every month. Welcome back to another Solucru Talks. I'm Jonathan Sellers, CEO of Solucru, and today we're going to be talking email marketing and mistakes your business could be making that are literally leaving money on the table each month. Today I'm joined with our email marketing coordinator, Ana Sofia Sanchez, and she's going to dive into 5 of the biggest mistakes she sees that businesses are making in 2025 that could really impact your revenue. Hi, Ana Sofia. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so why don't we, I know you're working on lots of different email marketing campaigns, different types of clients, different industries. And so I asked you, what would you see as the problems, because we focus so much on the best practices, but what are the problems that you commonly see once you look into accounts? So why don't we jump into those today? What's the first problem that you've seen?
Yeah, let's just run straight ahead. I think I can identify 5 main problems. The first one will be overselling or trying to hard sell instead of building relationships, instead of sending tips, nurturing the campaign, sending entertainment value for the customer, for the client. So people are just trying to, they should have a 80-20 balance, so 80% value for the customer and 20% promotion, not just trying to sell you every time you're communicating with your customer.
Yeah, even from email or ads or really like a lot of marketing areas where we work with clients, this is a challenge to get clients to understand this. They just want to get a sale. They just want to sell. But you're saying maybe an 80-20, 80% of share value, 20% focus on the sales within.
Yes, and sometimes companies don't understand how that works. They think, oh, I need to sell. I need to send a sales email with strong CTAs, with strong promotions. Another price promotion value, which is okay, but it needs to fall into the 80%, 20% promotion balance.
I think eventually, just as a consumer myself, if every email is just, here's a new sale, here's a new special, it's like, what is the real price? And like, these people just want to sell me, it's like, there's no connection to the brand.
It's like the branding. It's important as well. The value, the information that I give you. If I'm only trying to sell every time, it becomes like white noise or just spam.
Yeah.
You're not only gonna get unsubscribes, you're gonna get spam.
Yeah. Yep. Too much pressure. Okay. What's another problem?
Okay, another mistake would be not optimizing for mobile. So almost 70% of people are opening the emails on their mobile. So if you're just focusing on the desktop template, it's a high mistake, because whenever the person opens their email on their device, it could be a mess. It could be like wrong buttons. You have to make sure that that it's a nice, colorful, and big enough button of the CTA, so you get the responses coming. Because if not, people is just going to open the email, see a mess, and just delete it.
Yeah, and I think I've been seeing this a lot as well, where a client will really push for a specific design, but they're really only thinking of it on how it's going to look on desktop, and then it doesn't translate. And I think you make a good point, because there's a difference between just mobile optimized, so meaning it resizes to the phone, and then mobile design, because it may resize from the desktop to the phone, but it may not look good. And people may not know what to do.
Some of these email platforms automatically do it for you, and it's okay, but you cannot trust them 100%. You really need to try it out. You need to preview, and you need to make sure that it really looks good. And if not, you can You can make two versions, one for desktop and one for mobile.
And so then the system would then serve the version based off the device, the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The system will identify the device if it's desktop or if it's mobile, and it will put that one.
Okay, that's a really good,
correct one.
that's a really good point. Okay, what's your next problem?
Okay, next problem is ignoring the importance of the subject line. A good subject line will impact the opening percentage of the readers. It will also send you to spam if you try to use too many caps, or if you try to sell too much, or if you are trying to put too many exclamation points. That's like a big red flag for the mailing systems. They will.
So too much punctuation or like weird formatting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Or too many words, too many emojis.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are dangerous. You cannot be using those. You need to be more intriguing, more mysterious, more about. You can even customize to put the first name or the last name of the person that's going to receive your email. That's a nice way. But you need to be more intriguing and trying to make the person want to open your email and give them value. You have like 6 characters that you can use in the subject line, so you have to make sure they are interesting.
Yeah. What about testing subject lines? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
on
that's
that?
another good option. You need to A/B test because sometimes it's a good subject line for you and maybe not for the other person. So make sure to A/B test not only in the content but in the subject line before A/B testing on the whole content.
Yeah, okay. All right, no, that's, I mean, that one is A/B testing and just, I do think people, I see it more and more in my inbox or my spam folder. People are like really trying to lean into like emojis and things like that, and I see a lot of that in my spam folder. So that's a good point that you make. So what's the next mistake?
Okay, the fourth mistake will be neglecting or forgetting about segmentation. So if we are building a one-size-fits-all email content, it's dangerous because what if I am a supermarket, a grocery market, and we want to sell a vegan product? Our carnivore people are not going to be happy. They will be like, I don't care about this. Let's just unsubscribe.
Right.
So we need to make sure we're segmenting based on the likes, based on age, based on gender. If we have information, we are a health magazine or we are a industry in healthcare, and we want to send information about women's health, we should not be sending that to men.
Right.
So we gotta make sure we segment through gender, age, likes. There's so many options.
Engagement as well. So
Engagement.
if we're tracking engagement on web pages and things like that.
Yeah, also buying tendencies, if they're a good client, what they want, what they like. And they can be a good client and we still can lose them if we don't segment the
Yeah.
right way.
Kind of feels like the brand has lost who I am or
Yeah,
why
like
I'm
they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, and I mean most email marketing systems, they have like a lot of stock segmenting capabilities built in, and then you can typically also like connect it to your website, so you can, you know, track your e-commerce purchases or page views or product add to carts, things like that. So the technology is there for you to do this. It's not like you have to come up with some crazy way to build this.
Yes, exactly. And I like the e-commerce example because there's this abandoned cart filter. So companies can be losing thousands of dollars if you are not using that option, the abandoned cart.
Yeah.
So whenever a person goes to your e-commerce website and they just pick through an item and they don't purchase, but we build a good segmented journey for them to continue thinking about the item they just saw, that's a good way for them to actually purchase the item
Yeah.
and to continue being a long time client.
Yeah, potentially like maybe hit them with a discount at some point if they.
Yeah, that's, but you don't want to do that too much because they will realize, oh, if I just go
Every
and
time.
every time I see an item, and if I don't buy, I will get a discount. So that could be like a third step.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So what's the fifth mistake?
Okay, the final mistake is not following up. So you send a campaign, or general campaign, or even a like very specific campaign, and you just build one email and don't engage afterwards, even if they open or don't open. If they don't open, the email just probably got lost in the thousands of email the person is already receiving. So you gotta make sure you will send them another campaign soon,
Yeah,
because nowadays people just get thousands of emails
Yeah.
every time. So yeah, you really need to make sure you follow up, and probably also segment if they're opening the emails or not. You don't want to keep sending an email to the person that never opens your email. So follow up with the right strategy.
exactly. Well, I think that's a lot of really good information packed in today. So thanks so much, Ana Sofia, for joining us. I hope you found the information valuable. If you're listening to Ana Sofia's mistakes that she's identified, and you're thinking, are we making these mistakes? Talk to us at Solucru. We can definitely dig in. We can do an audit of your email marketing account and just make sure that you do have the proper steps in place to make sure that you are not making these mistakes. And we'll be happy to do that for you. If you are still watching now, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video so you'll get notified of our next Solucru Talks video. And we hope to see you next time.